While Kootenai County's population is taking off, that has not been the case for commercial flights in North Idaho. Recently, though, there has been an interest in building a commercial terminal at the Coeur d'Alene Airport in Hayden. KREM 2's Cody Proctor is giving us a look tonight at where that proposal stands now. Cody?
The Coeur d'Alene Airport is getting busier, Whitney. According to the most recent data from the FAA, the airport saw more than 100,000 total operations in 2021. Now there's a possibility commercial flights could also take off from COE.
Last Saturday turned out to be the perfect day to go flying, and the runways at the Coeur d'Alene Airport certainly proved it, with flight after flight taking off. That was especially the case at the flight school, Coeur d'Alene Aviation and Maintenance.
We're busy. The growth in Coeur d'Alene and the surrounding areas definitely has assisted with that quite a bit.
The flight school also sits next to a spot on the airport's east side that could potentially be the site for a commercial terminal.
So the facility would be 2 gates, approximately 20,000 square feet, but 2 gates is usually how you measure an airport.
That's Andrew King, spokesperson for Avports. They're an airport operations and management company based out of Virginia. He says they're also building the facility if it gets approved and getting an airline in.
For us, it's an exciting opportunity that there are people who are having to drive out of the state in order to go somewhere else.
Former Coeur d'Alene Airport Director Stephen Kiergaard says this isn't the first time the airport's had commercial service, but he says that stopped back in the early 90s.
The airport actually receives multiple phone calls throughout the year for the past couple decades about potentially restarting commercial airlines that service out of Coeur d'Alene.
King says their plans to have a temporary commercial terminal on the airport's east side before eventually relocating to the north end.
The east side is intended to be a short-term facility to prove the market out. So can we get to 5 flights a day? I mean, that's a basic question before we can spend the kind of capital it takes to build a more permanent facility.
But plans hit a snag in late December.
I would reiterate my concerns that I think...
That's when the Kootenai County Board of County Commissioners put their decision about the proposed development and lease on hold. Also at the meeting was Coeur d'Alene Airport Association board member Steve Anderson, who says the first time he heard about the Avports contract was hours before the commissioners' meeting.
I had like 4 or 5 hours to read through a contract that was a very plain Jane, just like a hangar owner's lease for a very extensive terminal development.
One of the issues he has about the project is the lack of an airline.
They don't have an airline yet that they're planning to bring in, so we kind of call it the Field of Dreams terminal building, where you build a terminal and then you hope that another airline will come in.
At an informational meeting about the terminal last month, he also told KREM 2 he doesn't think having commercial service would actually work.
There's been commercial carriers that have come in here. They thought that this was a good deal, but you know, from Coeur d'Alene here is 45 minutes over to Spokane International, and they've got 60 or 70 flights a day going all over the country.
Lauer doesn't see it that way, saying it'd be great if people in the county could get access to the airport.
It's a great airport. It's maintained to a commercial standard, but it's not accessible to a lot of the people in the county.
King says Avports did have some meetings prior to the commissioner meeting, but admits they rushed into the approval process.
I will say that I think that we didn't go far enough in that. We followed the standard practice for ground leases here at the airport. And in hindsight, it's very easy to see that, commercial service is a public interest.
As a result, they're now meeting with neighbors, residents, business owners, pilots, and other stakeholders in the airport to get feedback and answer questions. He says right now they're not sure when they'll approach the Kootenai County Commissioners again.
This time we're pulling it way back and making sure that we're taking our time. However long it takes is how long it takes.
And if you have your own questions or concerns about the idea of a commercial terminal at the Coeur d'Alene Airport, text the word airport to 509-448-2000. We'll send that link right to your phone. In the studio, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.